Welcome, everybody. Oh, I guess I need to say, yes, everybody is always sorely disappointed or delighted.
When you don't say it, it's important.
But it's always Antoinette who says it. So when I
Right.
come in, not saying it with her inflection and just trademark.
It's truly trademark. Absolutely.
Tonation?
Yes.
Is that correct? Anyway.
Sure.
Anyway, you have been warned. Last week, Antoinette told everybody that she is going to be away. She is in a war zone at her job, apparently, which just sounds oppressive and terrible.
Very. I don't like any of the things that happen over there, but it pays the bills. So I guess I need to mind my business.
It pays the bills. And I think she loves it a little bit too. So everybody, shout out to Antoinette. Send your blessings to her. By the time this airs, she will have been done. So let's send her some energy of recovery then.
Yes. Congratulate her on a job well done. All those things.
Well done, yes. I am here with co-host Naana. Now, apparently, Naana is the most, how would you say that? The guest has been on here the most. And I would have said so. Our guest on Around the Way Curls.
I'm going to take that moniker. I think this is like episode 5 for me.
You better put that. Girl.
I think I should get a shirt or a jacket or something. Like, let's figure this out.
A little desk plate or something.
Okay, I like some fashion. So maybe a pin. I'll take a pin.
For those of you who are OG Around the Way Curls listeners, Naana is a dear friend and close to your heart as well. For those that are just joining, please welcome Naana. She is a friend of mine. She is also co-host of Work Bay podcast with her best friend Obi. On that podcast, they navigate everything from pop culture to challenging each other to step out of their comfort zones. She is also an incredible artist and fashion designer. She creates gorgeous custom pieces that fit your body like a glove. You have seen them on Antoinette's body and probably liked and commented. My colonized tongue. Say it. Please tell everybody what the brand is.
This is such a wonderful little intro. Thank you. The brand is Uranchi.
Uranchi. And what do you mean, girl? What it is, what it do?
Oh, so Uranchi is my father's surname. And so I lost him 10 years ago. And so in honor of him and kind of just him being a fashion icon in my life, I decided to name my brand after him. Yeah, for sure.
Alive. I love that. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I'm so happy to be here.
Same curriculum that the tutor Antoinette has laid down. I'm going to do my best. It might get a little chaotic, but that's the
We love chaos. Yes. Let's introduce it.
So I'm going to start with my updates. Okay. I went to New York this weekend, and Antoinette and I did a photo shoot with the God Black.
The king himself.
The king, the God. And it was great. It feels like years since she and I have shot something together. I think it has been, but due to COVID, I can't remember anything, but it's been a while, and it was really, of course, nerve-wracking, but then fun. Antoinette and I do a lot of business stuff together. There's lots of deadlines. There's lots of outlines, time, whatever. Right. And it was really nice to just be with her and be in this space of
lovely
laughter and trying to be carefree and also look cute. So it was a lot of fun and it felt good.
I'm so happy. I'm really excited to see what the images look like.
Two rats running these New York streets.
Okay, listen. Philly, I also saw recently, since we want to talk about how dirty New York is, we're not the dirtiest city. We're we don't even hit top 10. I think Philly is dirtier than us. Yes.
Dusty for sure.
You said it, not me. I don't want no Philly smoke.
Seen a Philly nigga? Have you been to Philly?
Of course I have. Girl, I lived in Upper Darby for like 6 to 8 months. So, yeah. I know it's not the same thing, but I'm familiar.
Now, the dust. I've talked about it before.
We're not going to do this to these men.
All right, I'm going to stay loyal and true because I'll 10 toes down for Philly.
You better, because they will come for that ass.
I felt good energetically. Maybe not. Physically, I don't feel well. And
What's
if
going
you guys hear my voice, yes, this is like week 3 that I have not kicked a common cold. I don't have COVID, but like I'm not able to kick this cold, which is a red flag for me in this moment in all seriousness. And I'm going to share further down in the episode what I've been connecting this to, and that is very sobering for me. But girl, what the fuck?
What are you doing anything to
Am I doing anything to? That's a good question. Apparently, I have a cold and I'm outside with my legs out in New York City.
See, that's not going to work. Your chest is out. You ain't got no scarf on, no hat. Are you taking the white man's medicine?
No. I have not done anything.
Well, then you're not going to kick it, my dear.
Well, I thought.
You were going to manifest
I thought it's a cold. I thought it's something that just passes through. I didn't have a fever. Like, it should be gone by now. My immune system should be.
Right. Sure. But you need a little concoction, like a honey, lemons, ginger situation.
Yeah,
have you had your tea? Something. Yeah. I don't know that we can just will these things away. It's December. It's a lot of germs in the air.
February.
Oh, bitch, girl.
Are you okay?
That should let everybody know where I'm at, because I literally, we're about to hit March, and I said it's December. Girl.
This is the beginning of the episode.
Life does its things, and I just thank the Lord every day that I get to wake up. So I don't know what you. What an interesting question.
Start from. Thinking it's 2022.
Right. I'm stuck in December. Don't take me back. Actually, 2022 was tragic. We will leave 2022 exactly where it is. How am I today? I am really excited to be, of course, sharing space with you, but to get back on the mic, because I haven't, for those of you who found Workday via Around the Way Curls, y'all know we've been on a bit of a hiatus. We've taken a bit of a break.
And that's okay. And that's your business. That's
absolutely. It truly is. And we've decided to honor the space that both of us are in and extend the grace that is necessary for us to take care of ourselves before we get back to recording. But I haven't recorded. I haven't been on a podcast in over a year at this point.
Wow.
And so there are some feelings coming up for me, even in the midst of all of this right now, but we're just going to keep pushing through.
Oh no, you're a star.
Oh, thank you, babe. Don't do that.
You're a conversational guru. We're flowing.
Oops. Keep it going. What else?
We're here. Let's fucking go.
But yeah, today was a day that happened, and now it's almost over. But I'm here with you, and we'll rejoice in that. But I'm good. I can't complain too much.
We're gonna move to our hot shit now. I implore all of the listeners to take some time and go on YouTube and start searching and watching the videos of Mr. Gabor Mate.
Mm-hmm.
Gabor is a Hungarian-Canadian doctor, and he has written many books, but the one that has me in a chokehold right now is called The Myth of Normal.
Okay.
And to get like a sense of what he's talking about, you can go, a reference for you is to go type in on YouTube, Myth of Normal on Democracy Now! And it gives you a sense of what his book is, but I'm also going to tell you as well. But he goes on, in his work as a physician of over 30 years, he started noticing illnesses. He started connecting personalities and character attributes with the illnesses that people were coming in with. So he was a family doctor. That means he has relationships with these people, these families for years. So he gets a real sense of who they are. And he started noticing these similarities. And so he goes, Western countries invest billions in healthcare, yet mental illness and chronic diseases are on a seemingly unstoppable rise. Nearly 70% of Americans are now on prescription drugs. So what is normal when it comes to health? In his most ambitious and urgent book yet, Dr. Mate connects the dots between our personal suffering and the pressures of modern day living, with disease as a natural reflection of a life spent growing further and further apart from our true selves. But with deep compassion, he also shows us a pathway to healing and health. So he talks about trauma. Everybody's using the word trauma. Everybody's using the word triggers. But he talks about trauma and unconscious trauma that is playing out and in our personalities and our personal relationships is actually connected to the diseases that develop in our bodies. So he talks about people that are people pleasers and suppress their anger, often develop autoimmune diseases or cancer. And so there's all of this, that feels very woo-woo, but he goes on to talk about and citing a lot of medical and scientific data that backs this up.
Of course.
So the fact that I've had a cold for 3 weeks, motherfucker.
What in your mind and your
what
spirit?
In my mind and my heart and my spirit? I've been on here. Hold on. I have headphones. I have two. For those of you who are on a Patreon, it sucks for you because we look good today, I must say. But I have two. I didn't think this through. I have two bonbons in my hair. And the headphones aren't staying up. But the fact that I have this cold, the fact that I've been in my feelings and feel like I'm going through a lot emotionally, and then me stumbling upon this writing his videos is not lost onto me. And it does feel really urgent. But this is something I would love to talk about as I dive into the book a little bit more further in hopefully future episodes. But in the meanwhile, y'all, and he is like a melancholy looking man. Okay. He's like Eeyore.
Oh,
but he's spitting hot shit. Like he's dropping bars.
I mean, while to your point, it feels a little woo-woo, but it makes a whole lot of sense. I can't imagine that if your mental state is not well, that you're fit, like your body's going to follow. That feels very logical to me. The people pleasing to cancer pipeline, though, I'm feeling a little attacked as a known people pleaser. Like that is something really interesting to delve deeper into. And reading this and preparing for this episode, I was like, there are probably ailments in my body, like where your knees hurt, if your back hurts, where in your mental state is that being triggered? This is incredibly interesting. Yeah.
He talks about with anger. He says that anger is a natural boundary, creates natural boundaries. And I'm not talking about like lashing out, but more of the anger of protection of like, hey, you've crossed a boundary. Don't do that. Don't come into my space.
Right.
And that is protection. And when that's suppressed, it then is reflected in your immune system, which is your protector, which is your boundary maker. And so if you're in practice energetically of suppressing not even feeling your anger, which is, he read me to focus that, which I was like, oh, that's a badge of honor. Like, I'm a peacemaker. Girl, no. You're not well.
That's also a very
running for 3 weeks.
I mean, but anger is that's a natural emotion. I don't think that there's anything wrong with being angry. How you express and project that anger is a different thing, but to not allow yourself to be angry, you have to assume that is going to affect your personhood. Like Wow.
Get
and
into
then connecting it to the immune system also being a protector and how
Oh,
anger is a protector. You are.
But then he connects it to, that's where the compassion comes in, because he connects it to our deepest wounds. Somewhere down the line, you were taught that was your survival mechanism
Yes.
to survive as a child or wherever, to people please.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was to suppress anger, to, again, be a good girl in a particular way. But he connects it to trauma. So it's not like, oh, you're a bad person or you're inept person. It's like, oh, you got fucked up a little bit. You better recognize it because the consequences are real and great. And I was
and dire to your health is what, because I think a lot of the time, to your point, people pleasing, just using that as an example, is not intrinsically a bad thing. It doesn't cause you any harm, you think. And in therapy and kind of in this healing journey that I am on for myself, I'm realizing how my people pleasing has hindered my ability to foster really meaningful relationships. Not to say that I don't have any, but I have stifled some of them in an attempt to just please the people that are in my life. But now thinking about, could that have affected my blood pressure? Could that have affected like my joints? I'm 35 years old. My knee shouldn't hurt this bad. It doesn't make any sense. Like, and yes, I'm a big girl. I'm carrying a lot of weight, but still, you know what I'm saying? And so I wonder, I'm very, very curious as to how a lot of the other anxiety that I have, where does that affect my body? Like depression, how does that affect my body? You know, like that, this is kind of wild. Okay, well, we're gonna have to
get into it. Gabor. He's been a hot shit. I love him. I love him to pieces.
The way that you say his name is
that's his name. Gabor Mate. And I can't even go into how he looks. He just looks like Eeyore. He has these sad eyes. I love him, and he's doing the Lord's work. And
but I bet you he's probably the healthiest person you know.
Because he's authentic. That's what he talks about. Like, you have to be authentic.
Yeah.
And we're not rewarded in the society for being authentic. And that's where the myth of normal kicks in.
Yeah. And I think especially given even in the physical space, like when you're talking about physicians or doctors or getting checkups and all that kind of stuff, or studies that are being done, a lot of times the prototype is a white male of the age of 18 to 40 or what have you. And that is where those particular traits and physical capabilities are not going to be the same in people who are from the diaspora, who are women. And a lot of times we're not taken into account when these studies are being done. And so normal was subjective as fuck to begin with because you weren't considering everyone. And so I love the idea of dismantling what normalcy is and talking about the myth of that, because I think for a long time we've been held to a standard that didn't consider us. And knowing now that quote unquote normal is reductive, it's not a real thing, I think is a great way to even start a conversation in figuring out how our health is affected by all of the things that, like, our mind, I think, is like our strongest muscle. If that is not well, how could your body be whole? So yeah, no, this is definitely something to explore further.
The Lord's work. And
truly, Mr. Mate.
Yeah, he just he is spitting hot shit. That's all I got to say. Y'all will thank me later. Go down the rabbit hole, buy his book, support that. And I love him. Speaking of support, this is the moment where we, Around the Way Curls, ask you, our lovely listeners, to tap in and support us. Okay?
Yes.
Around the Way Curls has no marketing budget. We are doing this guerrilla style.
This is people power.
Yes. From the bootstraps. All that toxic shit we talk about. That's what we're doing right now on our back. So the more that we grow, the more we can get the resources to rest, to have a lot more creative juice to flow so that we can put it back into our content. So please subscribe, comment, rate, share. If
all that
you're
shit
on the social media, which I applaud you, tell your mom, your cousin, word of mouth, send them the link via text. All of it is really important. If you want to see us, my nose is running. I don't have a tissue either. Shame.
Shanti,
You can see it. I got a glazed donut. I'm 36 years old.
Got a glazed donut. You look good. I mean, but just a little. You good.
Oh my God. I might actually have to take a break to go get this. Okay. But if you are on Patreon, you would be able to see this in real time in your life. Patreon is a subscription platform where you can pay monthly $5, $7, $10 to watch Around the Way Curls program. I want to shout out some of our most recent patrons, Shanti, Elijah, and Glade.
Welcome. I mean, she would have hit you with the tilde if it was a
Glade. Yes. Shout out to you. We appreciate you. And we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we will be back with more. Oh, na 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 na. Do you know that's what I say every time?
Girl, the song changes. It's fine. I'm here for all of it.
I'm really going to go get a tissue because
no, please do that. Yeah, for sure. Oh, my poor sis.
Oh gosh.
I want to be closer.
All right. And we are back.
Mm-hmm. And we black.
Princess and black. Antoinette's not here. She's the queen of politics. So I'm just going to have to go with my, my best attempt of politics.
I think you're doing a wonderful job. I'm very excited to talk about all of these topics.
In my scrolling, I stumbled upon a recent New York Times article. Its title is Child Immigrants, Alone and Exploited Migrant Children Work Brutal Jobs Across the U.S. And so this is a story about how since 2021, I think was the date, there has been an increase of migrant children who've coming into the U.S. without their parents in record numbers and ending up in the most punishing jobs in the country. These kids are working 12-hour days. They're going to school and then going to work. They're working and then going to school and then going back to work.
Capitalism.
These are 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, girls, boys, gender non-conforming folks, they're all out there. Everybody is out there. The jobs that they're getting, which I'm not surprised by, are jobs that are under the table. So under the table operations and global corporations. Walmart, Target, places that process milk for Ben and Jerry's. There's this huge company. I don't have it on here. But I don't have it. But basically, they are the processing companies for cereals, bread. It's like a huge brand that all of the smaller, shit that we put on our table, shit that we feed to our kids, these young hands have touched. How this is working is that the U.S. does know about these children.
Of course. So
the kids are coming and crossing. They're leaving places, of course. Nobody leaves their home unless it's intolerable. So they're leaving.
Not a 12 or 13-year-old by themselves without their parent.
Without their parent.
Without their parent. Yes.
I would love to hear the stories that these, maybe it's the conservatives. I don't know. Whoever has an idea about why people come into the U.S., what they would have to say about a child that would risk their lives by themselves to cross these borders.
Dangerous terrains that they're crossing to get here. It's obscene. Yeah.
they come over here. The U.S. does know about them. And rather than pushing them back out into the wilderness, again, to these dangerous, unknown areas by themselves, they then take them in and put them through this process of getting sponsors. So they find U.S. families to sponsor them and to house them as they go through their immigration process.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's ended up happening as the numbers increase is that the processes are being rushed and these sponsors aren't getting vetted. The government was not able to contact 85,000 of these children that they have put in the hands into these sponsors. And they're supposed
What
to
do you mean they weren't
them.
able to contact
they're
them?
supposed
What
to,
does that
They're
mean?
supposed to be able to contact the sponsors and have conversations with the kids for monthly check-ins. Like, I don't know, DHS. I don't know the government umbrella for like DHS child welfare. But they're 85,000 children. They don't know where they are, what they doing.
That is a ridiculous amount of children to not be aware of where they are. That is insane.
They're not vetting the sponsors. And so what ends up happening is that these sponsors, of course, take advantage of these kids. Who knows the abuse that they're enduring? Who knows the trafficking that is happening?
Yes.
And also they end up putting the kids in debt. So the kids will come over. Sometimes these kids have connection with like distant relatives that they don't know, but they like have, you know, they share a cousin or whatever.
Right.
Those relatives take advantage of them and say like, bet we're going to take care of you, that you're going to have to pay off $10,000.
Right.
And then they become indentured servants so that they can send money back to their family and then pay off their debt. So
I think this issue is kind of tenfold. Like, we haven't really ever had a really good immigration system. Like, our process fucking sucks. It just does. Like, I've known people, family members of my own, who have waited decades to get access to this country, to file for green cards. Like, our process, it just doesn't make any sense. And to your point, for anyone to leave the only country that they've known, the only family that they've known, to risk their life to travel, sometimes on foot, thousands of miles, to come to this country in a hope for safety, for opportunity, for sometimes just a salvation. Like, they're running from gang violence, they're running from sexual violence. Like, there's so many, there's nothing that I could conceivably think of. Like, I could never do this. And I think that is what is always so frustrating for me when I hear people say things like, well, go back to your own country and we don't have any resources here. And da-da-da-da. Like, you have to really have not an empathetic bone in your body to think that somebody is cavalierly making a decision to travel to this country, knowing the discrimination that they're going to face once they get here. And it's still worth it for them. What are they leaving? But then you get here, and like, our border situation right now is like, we have tent cities at our border. Then if you even are able to cross, and to your point, you're running through this muck of, I don't even know what you can call it, like a piss poor system. We're still dealing with what happened during the Trump administration, and how we were kind of just throwing people to other countries that they didn't belong to because we didn't want them. Like, I'm coming from El Salvador, but you're deporting me to Mexico, or you're deporting me to Haiti, or like, we're just throwing people away because we don't want to deal with them. That's not a process. And so now you have, to not know where 85,000 children are.
Children under the age of 18.
Under the age of 18 that you've given access to your country is criminal. Like, it's insane.
Criminal. I blame the government, but then I don't blame the government, because all of us are operating under the hypnotism of capitalism.
Well,
right?
That's the thing. So even outside of the piss poor process, a small part of me feels like there has to be some intentionality here.
Girl.
Because you know that these children are coming here to work, to your point, to hopefully send money home to their families, to survive, to foster a new life here. This is labor that you're banking on in to do jobs that most Americans don't want to do, for wages that most Americans would not be willing to be paid. And so it is interesting to me that we can like magically lose these people, have them find their place somewhere throughout the country and start working for us. And you shared a quote here from a teacher, like an ESL teacher, who was sharing that her students, like to your point, the coming to school, going to work at night, coming to school, going to work. So people are very aware of the lack of child, like the child labor that is being abused here, and we're accepting of it because it benefits our bottom line, which is make more money off of the lives of these kids. And the Target, Ben and Jerry's, we know we love how
Ben and Jerry. Let's be clear, it's the milk processing that is used in. But that niggas, that's what I'm saying.
They have to know.
Debone Chicken Soda, Whole Foods, Ford, General Motors.
Like,
they're putting Made in America tags into J. Crew shirts. They bake dinner rolls sold at Walmart and Target. These are babies. And we're ingesting this literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
I love that you said that. Literally ingesting the
I have been eating this. I probably won't stop because I'm as caught up and fucked up and in agreement with this some kind of way as well.
Because what do? Do you grow your own grains, your wheat, to grind your own flour, to make your, like, we are so reliant upon these institutions that even if we really wanted to go live in the backwoods somewhere with our farm, we're tapped in some way, somehow, as far removed as you want to be. And it's painful, but it's also really dangerous to play into this abuse, because the children are going to keep coming. We're going to keep losing them, and they're going to continue to find their way into these factories, into these mills, onto these farms. And I think it's such an interesting juxtaposition. Biden was in Ukraine last week, and they were talking about, he had a meeting with Poland, and they were talking about how wonderful Poland was to take all these refugees out of the war. And it's like, you have people, sir, sleeping on your border right now, looking for asylum, who are essentially refugees of their own country. And you refuse to give them access in a proper process to live and be productive citizens of this country. Why are you in somebody else's country talking about kudos to you for accepting the refugees? What about the people on your border right now? And so, I blame the government 100%, but to your point, I think we're victims of this piss poor system. And the only thing that we can really do to remove ourselves is to not participate. But that feels very unrealistic.
I'm going to put it back to what we were just talking about with Gabor. Inauthenticity, right? Inauthenticity is when you do things that you know your heart, your gut says is wrong. Mm-hmm. And you think that energetically you're putting it somewhere, that it's being hidden somewhere. You're sweeping it under the rug, but you're essentially weakening and destroying yourself.
True. Yes. Yeah.
And so energetically, this is what America does best, baby.
I mean, cream of the crop. Nobody has
ain't nobody doing it like we do it. And even our lack of, again, imagination, a lack of what are we going to do? There's no other option. Is detrimental to us.
It's killing us. It's killing us, and it's going to continue to kill us. And until we decide that people are more important than profit, we're going to continue to live in these systems.
Until we think we're more important than profit. I can't say that I don't live my own life. I'm sick right now. I'm not well. Until, I guess the ways in which we dismantle this kind of people over profit is how we regard ourselves. And how am I going to honor myself? Because again, I can't take care of nobody if I'm over here coughing and still not prioritizing myself. Right. And then because in some, maybe I'm not, because in a lot of ways I'm functioning for this sense of security. Like, oh, I gotta go to work. I gotta take care of my kid. I gotta be there for this person. I gotta come up with this outline for the pot. I have this, it's in my bones to disregard myself. How you're feeling. That's for true. Some other outcome, whether it be productivity, whether it be this false sense of security, whether it be not to ruffle other people's feathers. So, God damn it.
I think about this quite often. And I think I agree with you that there is an individual responsibility, but we are a communal people, like Black people specifically. And so if to your point, if I'm regarding myself in this way, and if I'm misusing my body in an attempt to achieve X, I'm going to assume the same for the person sitting next to me, for the friend that I have right in front of me. And so we're just all collectively abusing each other in this attempt to achieve whatever goal that we have. But I think that's where like an empathetic mindset is. But I love that you are bringing it back to self, because I think sometimes we rely too much in the savior mindset and like supporting and encouraging and being there for others, that even that is a detriment to us. And see, it's always coming back to the people pleasing for me, because that is at my core. Like I would like to think that I'm a nurturer, but I think that can even be abused. And so how do we do that collectively? Because I can, as an individual, work towards this sort of salvation. But if we're not doing it together, how much are we moving forward? How much of the system are we dismantling? How much impact are we actually having? And I don't know that we need to have like a conference or like a meeting and decide collectively, but I think if bringing it back to self, if you decide to maybe not support certain businesses, not patron certain places, get your own little chicken farm, whatever, it encourages your community around you. And then maybe that's a way that we kind of, at least in a small aspect, stop participating in some of these
and
things.
Disrupt some of this. Yes.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Well, we got some work to do.
On to Biden's butt. Biden.
Grandpa Joe.
This week, Biden is going to bat in court to push through this, this dismissal of our student loans.
Student loan forgiveness, his program. Yeah.
Yes.
It's up. I think the Supreme Court is actually they're debating it now. Yeah.
They're debating it now. So the debate is around the language of the HEROES Act. And so that is what both Biden and Trump invoked during COVID. And the language of the HEROES Act was, the law specifically says that when the president declares such an emergency, the Secretary of Education has the power to waive or modify any statutory or regulatory provision governing student loan programs. Okay. So if there's war, there's a disaster, they can say
COVID
people can't handle this.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
They can say, and that's what both Biden and Trump did. They were like, all right, pause on these student loans. Shit's a little crazy right now. Biden took it a little bit further and wanted to provide some relief to the economically disadvantaged and canceled $20,000 of their student debt. Those earning more money, up to $125,000, could qualify for as much as $10,000 in debt relief. Already 16 million student loan borrowers have been approved for some loan forgiveness.
Oh, wow.
90% of them earning less than $75,000.
Oh, wow.
That's not a lot of money.
It is. It's not money at all, actually.
People can't afford.
Yeah.
The people that need this relief.
Mm-hmm. Truly. I remember even when they were posing this, they were like, oh, we're giving it to all these Ivy League kids and all of these affluent kids. And why am I paying for this? And I didn't get that kind of education. And it's like, sir, 90% of the students who are just approved make less than $75,000 a year.
Middle finger to Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, Arkansas, Kansas, and South Carolina, who were the ones that put the monkey in the wrench and wanted to take this to the Supreme Court and objected against this law being passed.
Your own constituents, your own citizens need this support.
Your own people.
And some people just can't get right. Like they just can't. It's too much like right to get on board, and so they have to muck up the system. It's so utterly ridiculous.
It really is. So this is what's being debated in the Supreme Court. We'll see what happens. I do see Biden be trying.
He don't have a choice because we on his motherfucking neck. So I think he hit us with this right before the midterms, and we saw how that all unraveled. So you are right. He's trying. I don't care about this personally.
Do you have loans that you have to pay back?
Bitch, I don't owe the government, but Sally and motherfucking May, them bitches, they will be in my will. I owe these people so much money. It's actually debilitating sometimes to think about it, and so I choose not to.
I know that's right. Cognitive dissidence. Let's go.
Yeah, I even in because the case started today. Like they were at the Supreme Court today, and I was watching CNN earlier, and there was this gentleman. I don't know where he's from, but he in the 90s borrowed $5,000 to help towards an associate degree. At he's 50 plus now. That man still owes $44,000 of those dollars.
What?
Due to interest and deferring and all of this stuff. Like it is again criminal. The fact that I think for a large generation, especially I think folks in our age group, it was beaten into us that you needed that secondary education to be successful. You had to go to college. There was no way around achieving success without it. And then now to riddle us with all of this debt, where home ownership, where people are not considering having families anymore because they owe so much money to the government, to these private loan companies. It is just crazy. And I think I saw a few years ago that if they decided to just wipe out the debt, the student loan debt entirely, it would benefit the economy. So right now it's just greed. Missouri, Nebraska, all of them folks, y'all are just mad. This has nothing to do with
actual function.
Like y'all are just I don't know if these legislators, they didn't go to college or they didn't. No, but like that was a lot of the stuff that you were seeing on like right wing shows is like, well, I didn't go to college, so why do I have to pay for your student loan forgiveness? And it's like, well, there are a lot of things that our tax dollars go to that don't technically benefit me. They're still necessary.
Anything that helps. People just hate poor people.
That's it.
That they don't, they don't want to support people. They don't want to support people being irresponsible.
But it's not even being irresponsible. It's not.
But this is the story that they say around actually, again, sharing your resources. It's like, I'm not going to help these kids. I'm not going to help this country that's suffering.
Figure it out. And it's
figure it out.
If I could, you don't think I would? Like, why do you think that I want to owe anybody hundreds of thousands of dollars for an education y'all told me I had to have? Where's the logic there? But
I hope that they I hope that somehow, by the grace of God, this gets through. I don't think it's possible.
I am the way with the courts right now, the makeup of the courts, it doesn't feel very likely. But yeah, we can only hope. We can only hope.
Well, those were my politics for today.
You did so good, baby. Look at you.
Antoinette will be proud of me.
She would be so proud. I thought that was a very robust and thoughtful conversation.
On to the hootenanny shenanigans. Pop culture, baby.
Okay, hootenanny. We love it.
Antoinette said that word, and I just love it.
We love a good hootenanny.
I love it. My favorite girl, Keke Palmer, had her baby. Her and Darius, light-skinned Darius. Oh,
that light-skinned Darius. Is that the baby daddy's name?
Yeah, he light-skinned. He looked like a biracial. She got herself a biracial man. Light-skinned Darius. They welcomed in their baby boy.
It's Leodis, I believe is the baby's name.
What?
Leodis.
No, it's not.
Leodis. I swear on everything that I love. And he has a very Negroidian name. It's very, very Negro. It's giving civil rights era. It's giving Negroidian. Leodis is the baby's name. Yes. I swear. We can look that up right now.
That is a parody.
It's not. They call the baby Leo. His name is Leodis.
That got to be an homage and ode to
maybe somebody's uncle, somebody's granddad.
Wait, how do you spell that,
John? Leodis. I'm pretty sure. That's what I saw earlier today.
I love that for them.
Yes. No, I am so son name. It literally comes up.
I cannot.
And how do you say that middle name? Andrelton? Oh, Keke. She is so black and I love it. And Jack
said that name sound like it led a civil rights march.
But don't it? It do.
Iconic, some called it iconic, legendary.
I'm here.
Oh, we ain't going to listen, Keke. We love you so much.
Love her so much.
You are okay. You are all right. You can't do nothing wrong with me, girl.
Period. She is truly a gem.
That is a light skin. I love it.
Oh my goodness. I'm actually really, 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 really excited for her and her new family. I think she's been very vocal about her struggles with PCOS. And that isn't something that I personally have to deal with. But I think for women who have, issues with our reproductive system, to see someone to be able to carry their own child and birth their own child, it's very, very affirming and hopeful. So, baby Leodis, welcome to the world.
Blessings
it's ghetto,
that whole family. I know, child.
We'll love you exactly. I think you're gonna have a wonderful time. Your mom seems like a hootenanny. She is the personification of a hootenanny.
Speaking of hootenanny, Antoinette brought this to my attention. Normally, I don't even know why I'm bringing this up, because
oh boy,
I'm just going to do it just to get the people going.
Okay.
King of Reeds on YouTube recently posted a video, a critique, if you will, of Groovin' Gorilla and Chicken Boy. It's a video of these Negroes.
Don't do that to me.
In a restaurant. Groovin' Gorilla is that big ass, muscular, flexible,
big old black man. Yeah,
he's fluid as hell though. Like
the body be
rolling.
Moving. Right.
The body rolls are real. I don't know Chicken Boy. I don't care to expound on him any more than that. And as a person who loves chicken as well. But apparently they're in a restaurant. There's white people there. I don't know if it's all white people, but from the video, it
looked very caucus. It did.
There were a lot of white people there.
It did look very caucus.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So apparently these niggas are in a white restaurant with the white gays dancing and eating chicken and then putting it on the air. Mind you, they have a lot of white followers.
Okay.
So his critique is that it's a modern day minstrel show.
Mm-hmm. So I thank you for bringing this to my attention, because I too am not familiar with Chicken Boy. To your point, we don't need to get any deeper than that. And grouping, I don't want to call no black man gorilla, but if that's what we're calling,
he named himself that, girl.
Jesus Christ, why?
And he looks like a gorilla.
You mean his stature? Like his body frame? What looks like a gorilla, Shanti?
He does.
Are we about to unpack
He does. He looks like he could pound with his one hand. And it's not in a racist way. The physique looks. Is that racist? Can I not? I apologize. My conditioning is a condition.
I kind of want you to stop saying it.
My conditioning is conditioned.
Yeah. The menstrual show. The video was. I'm conflicted because, more than anything. For the grooving gorilla, longevity wise, what else are you gonna dance to? He literally shimmied to this man and dropped chicken into his face. Like, it was just like, why? Like, he was like, I'm assuming that Chicken Boy was like dancing with the drumstick, and grooving gorilla was like dancing to the drumstick, and I was just like, is this what we're doing in 2023?
I think they're making the argument that it brings them joy. They're being joyful,
which is valid.
The black men and black boy joy is the argument. Freedom, expression.
Also, who don't fucking love chicken? I mean, I've never had a chicken. Well, that's not true. I've definitely had chicken that made me dance, but I'm just like, because I'm not familiar with these men, I think the gays, like, who is this for? Understanding that a lot of their audience are white people, is this sending some sort of a message? Possibly, but I also feel like, and I love King of Reeds. I love his commentary. I watch his shows regularly. It just felt like a bit of a reach. Like, I think it's okay to be silly in 8 seconds and eat your chicken. Like, it doesn't need to be anything more than that. Is it something that I'm going to be doing and posting on the internet? Absolutely not. But this man has clearly found a lane. I don't know how far the lane is for him,
I hear
but you know what I'm saying? Like, I think, and I think it's a topic that we're going to be hitting later on. It's like, so many people police our bodies already. Why would we do that to ourselves? And I don't see how it pushes the conversation forward by stigmatizing these men who are just eating chicken and having a good time.
And dancing.
And dancing. Like, we have all had a piece of chicken that really rocked our world. I refuse to believe that as Black people. And so, yeah, it's not something that I would promote. It didn't touch my vantage point. I haven't seen it because the way that my social media is curated, I'm really locked in, but I don't feel the need to participate in stigmatizing them.
It correlates, but it doesn't necessarily equate to that, right? Like, grooving gorilla, Chicken Boy,
it's
dancing,
not great. It's not
white
great.
People clapping and smiling.
Yeah. No, agreed.
It correlates to minstrel.
It's giving. Oh, it's absolutely right up there. It's adjacent.
It is, but I don't know. I like the grace that you're offering them. It makes me uncomfortable. I will say that.
Yes. Will not disagree with you there. I hate the term grooving gorilla. The fact that I am even reading that right now is bothering me. Chicken Boy, I don't know what that is, sir. But if this is what being Black to you is, and this is how you celebrate, go ahead, shimmy to your chicken. I don't know.
I had, speaking of shimming, speaking of Blacks, speaking of white people.
I love that segue. That was good.
I have an unpopular opinion that I've been sitting with. I've been figuring out how to articulate this. I'm so interested in what you have to say.
Okay.
What you think about this. Tank from Tank and the Bangers.
A boy in my DMs think I'm pretty.
Yes. Say it again. She has a viral soundbite from a song poetry that she has. What does she say?
She said, "There's a boy in my DM thinks I'm pretty."
Right.
Yeah.
That's her.
Love her. Love the band.
She's been around for a very long time.
Very long time.
Super talented, incredible writer, incredible performer, incredible singer, multi-hyphenated in terms of
all
what
the things
can do.
Yes.
Okay? But Tank also has this positivity to her, right? Her songs are often around affirming herself.
Yes.
Around she ain't just singing like whining and crying over a nigger, talking about a toxic relate like SZA. None of them could never. She never been around that. Now,
what is okay?
I love, but you know what I mean. Like
I do.
Whiny R&B stuff is not what she's doing. She always has a live band behind her. She's giving energy. She's giving performance. She's giving confidence.
Yes.
I think that Tank deserves the same, if not more recognition than our beloved Lizzo.
Okay.
I think in terms of the lane that they're in a same lane. Their energy, their messaging is similar.
Okay.
I think Tank is a more talented artist.
Okay.
I think she's a better singer. I think she does what Lizzo does, but better.
Okay.
I would argue that she does not get the attention and the recognition that she deserves because of the way of how Black she is. And I'm not talking about just her skin tone. She does happen to be
a darker skinned one.
Darker than Lizzo. But Lizzo, I wouldn't describe
she's dark skinned too,
as being light skinned. So I don't know if it's like a colorism thing. But in her energy, in her presentation, she is Black as fuck.
That is a nigga. Yes, agreed.
And her music and her way of being Lizzo's way of being feels less threatening to white people. So I think she gets more attention. But I think Tank does what she is what Lizzo wants. I'm not going to say that.
Girl!
I apologize. I like Lizzo. This is not hating on Lizzo, but there's something about Tank's unapologetic, effortless, consistent Blackness that makes her less palpable to the masses than Lizzo, even though I think they're doing the same thing and she's doing it better.
You've said a lot of things. You've said a lot of things. I love Tank and the Bangers. If you have never listened to their NPR Tiny Desk, please go ahead and bless yourself. It is amazing. And you're right. These are two brown, fat, singing ass girls. Like I don't know that they're not equivalents, but the comparison seems fair for sure.
Okay.
I, to be very honest with you, am not ever interested in what is unthreatening to white people. I don't think about white people. They don't cross my mind. And it isn't I just don't. And so I hear this conversation a lot around Lizzo and her popularity and like, does she sing white people music? And I'm like, no, that's a Black woman. Her music is Black. There's no other conversation there. Now, is it pop as opposed to R&B, as opposed to soul?
Okay, this is a good argument. Build your case. Let's go.
Those are things that are debatable. We can definitely have that conversation.
Okay.
And I think to your point, Tank, even though I feel like they have some poppy songs, is in a very different lane than what Lizzo's music is like. Also, when I first was introduced to Tank, it felt very underground. It felt very like early 2000s neo soul. Like it wasn't like mainstream. And Lizzo is a motherfucking superstar. Like she has the money, she has the backing, she has the support, she's given opportunities, and she's put in position that maybe somebody like a Tank is not given. I don't know why that is. These are the things that we have to think about, because I wonder if Lizzo just got her lick at the right time. She hit when it was like, because she's been doing music for a very long time too. I wonder if they both have, hit the scene around the same time. Maybe she just caught hers. The algorithm was algorithming, and it just happened when it was supposed to, and it hasn't happened yet for Tank. And I don't even really want to say that, because they're incredibly successful. The band tours all the time.
Twice. Yes, right. Doing well.
So I just think that there is something to be said about the different types of music that they make and how it is received and promoted in the ether. I don't know what is not threatening to white people, because I'm not a white person. I can't say that there isn't that feels like a valid case.
Maybe threatening isn't the word, but there's an energy. There's something about her.
She's disarming. I will say that for sure.
Lizzo's
I don't know.
Disarming?
Yeah. Lizzo,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's very, very comfortable. I'm sure Lizzo grew up around a lot of white people. Like, I mean, I'm a Black girl. I went to high school with nothing but white girls. And so in spaces where I have to code switch, it's very easy for me to do that. It feels like Lizzo has mastered that. That's not to say that Tank also doesn't have the capabilities of doing that, but it doesn't also feel like she's interested.
Interested in
at
it.
all.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like she's very cool in her smaller venues, in her,
Word.
Not to say that she couldn't hit us with a stadium situation, but that don't really even feel like her energy. You know what I'm saying? And so, like you said, her sound, her little audio is going viral now. I see it all the time on the internet. I hope this is encouraging people to listen to their music, because the band is fucking amazing. And maybe this will be something that catapults her into a larger space. But yeah.
Y'all, tell me what you think about this, because unpopular opinion. I was just scrolling and I thought it.
Yeah,
I didn't think much about.
I think it's very fair. It's a very. I'm actually really proud of the comparison, because people do it with other stuff, with other they do the whole Lizzo and other people thing, and I'm like, that doesn't even feel like they live in the same universe. But yes, unpopular but fair. I would say that that's a fair opinion for sure. Yeah.
I don't want to focus on this too long.
Okay.
Because we talked about this last week. Antoinette's probably going to come on and talk about it more. Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan recently did a photo shoot together, or there were some shots together of them, very close to each other, leaning on each other.
Looking like brothers.
Touching each other.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, this is after Jonathan Majors' Essence photo where he had on the pink and he had his duck and child.
He does like to purse.
He does. He's been doing it a lot lately. I'm like, you've been practicing.
Again, if you go back, because like I know everybody loves to pretend that they always been in love with Jonathan Majors, but he's been pursing the lips for a while.
Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't. Yeah. I've seen him doing it a lot more recently in the photos, and I'm like, okay. I
also wonder if he feels like he's modeling quote unquote
like
more, so he has to do that. Yeah. It's interesting.
It's very
but he loves to purse a lip. He'll purse a lip on the red carpet. He'll purse the lip. He purses the lip.
He do it better than I. I cannot duck lip like Jonathan.
I feel ridiculous.
Anyway, it got the streets talking, of course.
Of course.
And last week, Antoinette and I talked about this idea of the equivalent of service, between men and women, acts of service. Unpopular opinion. I'm so bored by this gender discussion that we're having.
I'm tired.
It feels like a dog chasing its tail.
Absolutely.
And I feel like I don't have the questions, but I don't feel like we're asking the right questions. I think there's something really juicy there for us to uncover. And that's not to say that like gender inequality or conditioning isn't real and fucking us all up, because it is. But I'm so tired of how we're talking about it. I'm snooze.
Yeah. Because there isn't anything really impactful or meaningful behind it outside of, oh, these niggas is gay. That's really it. Men can't do this.
This is gay. And then the other thing is, stop policing men. They deserve to be soft.
Right.
Okay.
We haven't, it's so reductive. We haven't moved past that ever. And I don't think we have the capability to, and that's why we haven't. Because the people who don't care are not interested in participating, and the ones that don't have the language. So we're just kind of
asking, and that's so real. We're
not asking the right questions. We're recycling the same talking points that we've heard. It's the same one-liners. It's so reductive. I also heard now men are not allowed to smoke hookah because that is for the gays and the women. Like every day, it's another thing. I don't understand. And at first I was like, oh, men are doing this to themselves. Why are they suppressing themselves? And now I have to realize women are playing such a huge part in this policing. Kev on stage did a thing once where he said some women have posted, men can't have dessert at dinner. Like, they're not allowed to eat a course at dinner, or if you order an appetizer, you a bitch nigga. What are we doing? And I'm so curious as to how we come to all of these absolutes, but I'm probably part of the problem, because anybody who would say something like that, I'm not interested in having a conversation with you. And so I don't get to explore that mindset more. But if you saw that the images between Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors and saw anything sexual, that says everything about you and nothing about those two men. They looked like brothers. They looked like best friends. I was like, also, can you make some space for me? Like, what is the issue?
In the middle.
Can I get
over the shoulders?
I mean, listen, you put me wherever you want to put me. Just put me between the two of you. Like, how you could think that was homoerotic or like homosexual. It is perplexing. But if you're so insecure and concerned with yourself, you can't see that and think anything else. And it is saddening to me that two Black men cannot be in close proximity to each other without it turning into something. And even if they, God forbid, they like, okay, so they're gay. And what?
I think what women and men, or I think men have already stated their discomfort with tenderness, right? With that. But I think women have to be honest about how we inherently think that tenderness and softness is
a woman's trait.
Is a woman's trait and is inherently has no power. We inherently hate tenderness, softness, and think it's a place of
is it like demasculate? Is it like emasculating?
No, I think just in terms of energy, we think it's a space of powerlessness, and we too have contempt for it as well.
oh, I didn't think you were going to go there. And that's kind of fucking me up, because for a long time, I was performing aggression as power.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, probably till 30, it was like, oh no, you're gonna respect me. And it's like, okay, or I can be soft and not necessarily lean into my femininity, because I feel like that kind of has been warped a bit, and still get the respect that I deserve, but not feel like I have to be masculine. Because in my life, to your point, the people that I've experienced who had power were typically the men in my family. Were typically, I mean, were the boys that I was in school with. You know what I'm saying? Like, growing up, they were affirmed in their power in a very different way than I was. Yeah. And I thought the only way to get that same level of respect was to have proximity to masculinity. And so I was definitely performing power and aggression in an attempt to garner respect in a way that was completely inauthentic to who I was, but felt like a response to the circumstances that I was put in and kind of the conditioning of the community around me.
I think it's also the decoupling of gender or the body and energy, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's we keep saying this and our heads are getting all fucked up about it, but like energy, like that yielding, surrendering, softer energy, regardless of who's embodying
That's what I'm saying. It's not gendered. That doesn't belong to anyone.
You have to decouple it, but then also be honest that we think that type of energy is for suckers. You get played, you get taken advantage of. And I think we secretly, we think it's inherently weaker. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm caged by it. Think that.
Are you? Are you really?
Oh, absolutely. I think we think we have contempt for it. That's
wow. I wonder, so, can we stay here for a little bit?
Oh, okay. Let's go. Just
because I wonder, as somebody, like, the contempt you have for it. Okay. Because I would like to think that you're a very progressive woman. You're kind of in some of the conversations that we've had.
Take my bag upstairs, okay?
But so that's what I'm saying. But I think you can be progressive and still want some of the traditional norms that happen in relationships. Because I remember, I think a couple of days ago, y'all posted the whole pump and gas situation. And while I don't think that there is anything inherently wrong for Antoinette to pump her own gas, I do think it is inconsiderate for you to be laid up in my car while I'm outside pumping my own gas. And so that notion, or it isn't necessarily solely the act, but the care that is done there, knowing that, yes, Antoinette will have to pump her gas whether this nigga was there or not. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you're in my presence and I'm now in an unsafe position because I'm outside of this car, I'm vulnerable to people around me, and you're plushly in my car watching me do it, like, that to me is where the issue lies.
But that doesn't have to do with penis. It has to do with energy.
It has to do with energy.
It's energetic. It's agreement.
Exactly.
It's honesty of the women to be like, why the fuck am I? You know, I think that calls for a deeper conversation around honesty and agreements than these assumed roles that we make.
Right. Because I remember even, and I think you had talked about like cooking. which is not a gender. If you are a better cook, chef it up. Like, that's kind of, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of these things are becoming dismantled. To your point, though, I think women have to be honest, because I do think we assume a more progressive mindset that we also enjoy some of the luxuries. When my brother comes to visit me, I don't take out the trash. Mm-hmm. But when he's not here, who I take out? I have to take it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are things that I will yield to a man because I assume that's their responsibility. I don't know that that's a right or wrong thing, and I'm willing to have that conversation. But to your point, I have to be honest that is something that I do fall into that trope of, this is a man's task, this is a woman's task. Yeah. Like, there are aspects of that in my person, and I'm okay with that.
You're okay with it, especially if you and your partner have this
understanding, right,
conversation about it. But I think it's the fact that we were all dumbstruck when it came to, it was assumed that women have this energetic capacity to do it, and that we don't want that from men, or we don't assume that from men. I don't know. Again, I'm in a cage. I'm exhausted by it. We're going around and
you're not. I don't think you're in a cage. I think for us to kind of push past the very surface level of this conversation, we're going to have to be willing to have conversations with people that we don't necessarily agree with, and be open to hearing what they have to say and investigating it a little bit more. I don't know that I have the capacity or the interest, but somebody gonna have to do it, because we can't keep having the same conversation. If there is one person that does, it is Miss Henry. Yes,
she really has the space for it.
But do you hate tenderness in men? Is that what you're saying? Are you?
I don't hate it, but I can't lie that there's a part of me that one doesn't expect it from men.
Really?
In a certain way. Yes, to be completely honest, and also, I don't know that I honor and really think that this feminine, I'm not going to say mine, but this feminine, yielding, open, soft energy, do I really think that is equal and as powerful as this other kind of yang energy? I don't think our society rewards that in any way.
No. Yeah,
I just don't think we talk a lot about it. I think women have an emotional capacity and range that we have been socialized to have. I don't know if it's because we think we do, that maybe men haven't. But I think I'm still grappling with, do we even really fuck with this so-called soft, and do we really respect it? Do we really honor it?
But who are you asking that of yourself as an individual?
I think maybe I'm projecting on everybody.
Yeah,
it's possible.
It sounds like it. A little.
I don't know that. I don't know.
And that's okay. We don't have to answer all the questions today.
We don't. Right. That's why, listen, when I was like, should we talk about this? But I think this is it needs to be in constant conversation.
Oh, and it will be. It will be. But I soft, tender. Please be soft with me. Please be tender. My life is hard enough.
Yes.
I don't want to meet
that with myself more again.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, definitely in partnership, it is appreciated. Yes, please be tender with me.
We're going to move on. I'm not going to talk too much about the NAACP award show. All I can say is Zendaya looks so good. Did you see her on her little outfits?
All of her outfits at all of the award shows. She's been killing the motherfucking game, doing all the things. Yeah, no, she looks incredible. Incredible.
amazing. She's also, making some waves in again the lexicon of people minding other rich people's business that we all do. She's negotiated with Euphoria $1 million per episode.
Yes, give the lady her things. What else do we need to talk about?
People are saying that that's obscene. People are saying maybe that's discouraging for other cast members that are showing up as equally as she is. Other folks are saying, this nigga is the executive producer on this bitch.
Thank you. Also, no shade. We love an ensemble cast, but Zendaya is the motherfucking star of Euphoria. And $1 million is an exorbitant amount of money. But I think they paid the Friends cast $1 million an episode. Okay. Like, they be out here giving the girls their coins.
Giving money. In the weird world of La La Land.
Unfortunately. Now, could we get that same benefit to our teachers and our well, absolutely that's another conversation. Exactly. But it's not completely unconceivable. It's been done before. People have definitely been getting, I believe Nene Leakes herself thought she should be getting paid $1 million an episode for Housewives of Atlanta. So the money is there. I think Zendaya should get it.
Congratulations, Zendaya.
Yeah. If anything, this should encourage the rest of the girls to ask for what the fuck they want too. Why would it discourage them? Please. That's
what do you think should get if there was another star? Do you watch Euphoria?
A girl, yes, I do. But see, this is the problem. I don't know none of the white people's names.
What's the crying nigga? The one that cry all the time. She puts on a show.
Crying nigga? What crying?
Hysterical. Nigga? Yes, the girl. She's messy, blonde, a mess.
Oh, with the big titty.
Cassie.
Cassie.
Is that her name? Because I just made that name up.
I think it is.
Oh my God.
She is. Now.
You don't think she should win?
Good TV. She is a fucking mess also. I love Jules.
I love Jules.
I love Jules. I don't know Storm's name in the show, but I love Storm on the show. The mama is good.
Storm, the little sister.
The little sister, yeah.
Are you watching The Last of Us?
Who? Girl, Sunday night. Don't call me. Yes, ma'am. When I tell you, this is, if anybody knows me, a zombie post-apocalyptic, the world is over, a cult documentary, and anything about serial killers. Must see television. I will be there. So yes, and can I say, because I know this is not on there, The Last of Us is not only, it's not even about the goddamn zombies and the fungi. The TV is so good. The writing, so good. If you've watched The Walking Dead, any of the Dawn of the Dead movie, like this is such a thoughtful way to do the end of the world. Like, so good. It's so good.
And humans are still learning how to regulate their emotions and not well. End of the world, and we are still fucking each other up. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I talk about this. I feel like anybody that will talk about it with me, I repeat the same thing.
Well, now we need to talk about this.
These particular zombies make my skin crawl. It makes my skin crawl.
When the little tentacle things come out of their girl, literally. So, and I
have goosebumps right now.
It
grosses me out.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a scaredy cat, and so I do kind of scroll through to see because I know they're coming. Yeah, I need to no. I have to prepare myself. I need to see who's getting bit, who dies, how. I just need to prepare myself. And every time I see them, the artistry, like the hair and makeup people, amazing. Also, quiet as it's kept, this might actually fucking happen. So we really need to tighten up.
Girl, I said cordyceps. On my computer, and that cordyceps.
And they are here with us right now. And global warming is it's fucking.
Watching those bugs. I'm watching about 10 praying mantises corpse walking by themselves. Not in real life, but through the videos.
Oh, okay.
My head is scratchy.
Like, what?
Oh, it makes me itch. It really grosses me out. I apologize, everyone. Y'all got to get into it because it's
The Last of Us is a show. Get somebody's HBO Max and watch that shit.
Show.
It's good. It is very good. Oh my. Okay.
All right, y'all. We're going to end with white people just doing what they want to do. And God, it's very interesting. Listen, now, Dilbert. Now, my young Shanti would open up the paper and read all of the comics. I wouldn't understand. Never got any of the joy. Didn't understand. But put the colored comics, Hobbes and Calvin and Hobbes.
Check you out.
Loved it.
Were you a fan of Dilbert?
No.
Okay.
I never understood what was going on, but I would watch it. Apparently, the cartoon artist of Dilbert, Scott Adams, took his ass on a live stream and went on a rant now. He's commenting on a poll from the conservative firm Ross Musen reports that said 50%. First of all, this makes me laugh. 53% of Black Americans agreed with the statement, "It's okay to be white." Now you do the math. What's that?
And 53 said it's okay.
And then nearly another half. I think it was like, no, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
It is, in fact, not okay to be white. Shanti, your mother? Absolutely not.
It's just dangerous.
It's not okay.
It's not okay.
It is a risk to society. We have history, statistics, and reports to support this. The Blacks said no.
The Blacks said, "Not today, Satan. No, it's not okay."
Scott did not like that. Scott said, "I don't want to have to do anything to do with them. And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is get the hell away from Black people. Just get the fuck away."
I'm actually I'm offended on behalf of Southerners because that man probably lives in motherfucking Connecticut. You didn't have to give him that voice like that.
It's not like a country voice because there's no fixing this.
You did not have to do that to the Southern. I apologize on behalf of Shanti.
I don't even know how a white guy. I mean, he did Dilbert. I don't know. I can't do that. It's Southern to me. It's natural. This nigga said, because there is no fixing this. He's hopeless. Scott is hopeless.
I mean, is he wrong?
Girl, is he wrong? As a white person, he's saying, stay away. I saw a bit of the stream on motherfucking YouTube of all places where he said that he's found his little, he lives in a neighborhood where there aren't too many of them and he's doing just fine. He's doing great.
And I said, Scott, good for you. Scott, Scott, good for you, sir. Stay the fuck away from us because you're crazy. Do your thing over there. Yeah, listen.
He's been dropped from Dilbert ain't nowhere to be seen.
And it won't be. Yes.
Elon Musk is in support of Scott.
Of course he
is. Cancel culture. You guys are just censoring us. But aren't we? Like, this white man can't come here and read some stats and say how he feels?
Listen. This is what people always misconstrue about.
Talk about it.
Our Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, all that shit. That is agreement between the citizens and the government that says you are free to say whatever you want to say. You have the freedom to express yourself. Rah, rah, rah. That shit don't got nothing to do with the newspapers he's in. Those are all privately companies. Yeah. That don't have nothing to do with Twitter. It don't have nothing to do with Instagram. It don't have nothing to do with YouTube. And that little box that y'all sign where y'all make that little profile, I'm sure somewhere in the terms and agreements, it says, if we don't like what the fuck you say, we can rack this whole shit up.
That is a legal case that you made.
You found out they not fucking with your shit, and now it's a motherfucking rap.
It found out. Fuck around and found out. Listen, slippery slope. I don't know. There is something around censorship, though. There is something around this performance of like, oh, he said something about Black people. He said something about Jewish people.
Okay.
Even though we ain't really doing nothing for Black, we don't protect these. We don't fucking care for real, man. But all right, I get it. We all gotta save face. Dilbert was an unassuming character, and he is now gone.
Gone. To never be found. Who was reading newspapers to begin with? That man, his livelihood is in, and he knew it. I also feel like he probably just got old and didn't give a fuck no more. Because that is a thing.
He was a COVID, anti-vaxxer and everything. Scott has been building. This has been building, apparently.
We've been getting to this point slowly but surely.
He got his followers up. Lord knows what Dilbert was saying in the satire underneath all this shit.
Right. Now we might have to go back and read some of them damn comics.
Dilbert, the shit nigger was spelled backwards and shit. And there's all these hidden...
That nigga was spelled backwards. He
just had like all these hidden silk KKK in
eggs that you have to go find. Right. I'm going to go search. Somebody's going to find it. And there'll be a YouTube video of all of the racist Dilbert comics. I think the unfortunate thing about this, and to your point about deplatforming these people, is it just pushes them further and further and further into
the
margins. And I feel like this now is vindicating to them about the ideas that they had around race relations or what have you. And there is violence and danger there. So that is the thing that I'm always really, really concerned about. But I think, what do we do with somebody who says things like this and is disparaging to whole communities? We can't just let these things live in the ether. But I don't know that just pushing them out of society or like out of the mainstream is also really helpful.
No, I don't think it is either. I think it's just like you said, it's just as ineffective and yes, really just push segregating in a lot of ways. So that's why everybody got to listen to Gabor, because Gabor got the fucking keys to this.
I wonder
about trauma.
Right.
No, he talks about it. He says, when we understand that trauma is the root of so much mental illness and problems, that if as a society we recognize that, the judicial system would change, the medical system would change, the way we raise kids and educate them, it would just, if we centered that, it would just flip this whole motherfucker around. So just to bring it back.
That's too much like right. Like I just don't
feel like that's too much like God.
I just feel like we don't have the capacity because everybody thinks that they don't have a problem. And so if I've been able to attain success, why can't you? What's trauma? That's not real. What's mental health? That's not real. Like, it's so interesting to me that people want to pretend that like all of these ADHD and anxiety, these are all like new phenomenons that just sprang up in the last 5 to 10 years. It's like, no, people have been suppressing these things because there hasn't been space for them to talk about them freely. And I wonder how many people we've lost because of that. And I think even though sometimes it could be a little exhausting, it's really wonderful to see people feel so free to just say like, I'm not well. I feel like growing up, you couldn't do that. You couldn't say I'm not okay without people thinking that there was something like seriously, seriously wrong with you. And so now to have Mr. Mate kind of share how that correlates with what your physical body is doing. I think it could transcend, to your point, how we engage in society, but we have to validate this work, and I don't know that we're willing to do that yet.
To value human life.
Yeah.
Capitalists don't run off value in human life.
What?
I don't pay the bills.
Go back to work. Call up and go back to work.
Back to work, little 3-year-old baby. Stop crying. Anyway.
Not 3-year-old baby. Why the baby's gotta be it?
Because apparently they're putting child.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yes, you're right.
13. I'm sorry.
We just talked about that. Yeah, I was like, 3 is a little early.
13-year-old. Anyway, y'all. Naana, thank you so much for joining us. I feel like this was wonderful, rich in content and in theories.
I hope so. I enjoyed it. This feels really good. Getting my feet wet.
Jumping back into this thing. Yes. Get it in again. All right.
Oh my goodness.
We thank you for joining us. Naana, please tell people when you do come back out, when you feel like it, because that's your business and rest and your pace is how you call the shots. Where can they reach you and follow your work?
Oh my goodness. So many places. So Yoranchi, if you're interested in the fashion things, I'm really excited about a project that I'm hopefully coming out with this year. You can follow me at I am Yoranchi. That's IAMYIRENKYI. And Workday will be back this year. It is February 28th. I'm saying it. We're coming back. You can find us on all platforms at Workday Pod. And yeah, hopefully I'll be on here for my 6th time.
6th time. Let's fucking go. The most guest appearances goes to Naana. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you on Thursday.
Bye.
All right, girl. That was a long one. You did good. We did it. We did it.
We did.
Praise the Lord. Let me
Hallelujah.
How do I turn this off? Stop.